My name's Sam Matthew. I'm the owner of Atlanta Glassblowing here in Doraville, Atlanta, Georgia. I ended up just taking workshops wherever I could find because I did not go to art school or anything. Didn't do much art growing up, but I love playing with fire, that's for sure. From the first time I played with the glass, I knew it was meant for me. It's a really wild material and there is a certain kind of risk because it's so hot dealing with it. The heart and soul of the hot shop, I should say, is the furnace because it never turns off. It's about 2,000 degrees day and night, year round. So I'm keeping my molten glass, my raw material, inside a big giant crucible. And we just keep that glass in a molten state essentially at 2,000 degrees. So without that, you really can't do anything. Everything kind of starts with that clear molten glass in the furnace. Because the glass is over 2,000 degrees, you know, we obviously can't handle that temperature. So we have to kind of handle it on the end of a hot metal rod, basically. Without that, you really can't do much. So everything's gonna start with what's called taking a gather. You're gonna see me scooping up my raw material, which is my clear glass, out of this furnace. So this is a little gather of clear glass on the end of the rod. I'll be bringing it over and applying the color by just kind of tapping and turning it in there. Now the glass is really sticky when it's hot. Okay, so once all the color is applied to the surface, I'll be bringing it over to the hole, setting it down, and melting in that color that I just applied. Glass blowing is really just all about heat control. You've got to get the glass the right heat in order to do what you want. Simple items like an ornament can take as fast as 5 minutes. Things like a round paperweight that are solid might take more like 10 to 15, but a more complex piece, it's probably gonna be about an hour to see the whole thing get made. But what you might not see in a really complex piece is a lot of the prep work that goes into it. That can be potentially, you know, many, many days worth of time and effort, basically getting the glass ready, the parts ready that you're gonna use. It's always good to have, you know, the final shape that you're going for, at least in your mind. A lot of people in the glass community draw out their final shape in chalk on the ground, basically. And we can kind of look at it while we're working. A lot of times if my glass is not quite going towards the shape that I want, I'll try to just work with it as opposed to against it and kind of flow with it. So there's a lot that you can kind of fix or heal, which is really quite beautiful. There are some things that you can't fix and you kind of have to decide, well, do I just kind of scrap what this is and start over, or do I get some practice and keep working on it? The design and the color pattern is something I really kind of geek out over, probably more so than the final shape of the ultimate piece. A lot of times I'm just looking for some really high contrast, something that really kind of like calls to me from across the room. So I like to see, you know, quite a bit of action, some squiggly, crispy lines, and then also some big, bold colors that usually have a lot of contrast. And so I try to work with kind of a few various different, more advanced techniques to try and achieve those particular patterns, like pulling cane and doing roll-ups and encalmo, which is basically putting two different pieces together at the lip. So that's some of the different patterns I like to work with. I would say I've been heavily influenced by street art graffiti, you know, around Atlanta. I mean, all around in Chicago, that's kind of where I started glass blowing. It definitely influences my color patterns that I'm going for, and I would say some of the just kind of the craziness, some of the wild, crispy lines, essentially, that I'm going for in my work. It's been heavily influenced by graffiti patterns. I teach classes here at Atlanta Glassblowing, so the general public can come in and they can make their own ornaments, pumpkins, and things like that. A lot of times when I'm going through the safety and the orientation in the beginning, people can be looking a little bit nervous, but when we break their item off the end of the rod and they actually get to take this bat and hit the metal rod and the glass breaks off the end of it, it's very satisfying, and they always turn to their friends, and there's a kind of moment of joy there, so I really love that. If you feel the calling to create, then you should be a creator. I think the motivator should be to bring happiness to yourself, and by bringing some art into the world, you're actually gonna also bring some happiness to those around you. It's an opportunity to do some pretty cool things. Everything else, teaching the classes, hosting the events, parties, all that other kind of stuff is mainly just so I can have my shop, so I can play and I can experiment and make my own glass, because that's what makes me happy.